I am not afraid of my truth anymore, and I will not omit pieces of me to make you comfortable. Hi, my name is Dee, and I'm an alcoholic. Wow, that was one of the scariest things I ever had to say or do, admitting that I'm an alcoholic, especially in one of my first local AA meetings. When I went in there, I knew there were going to be people in there who knew me, and they're going to know what a loser I am and how weak I am. As a matter of fact, at one of my first meetings, I saw a friend ride by on his bike in front of the clubhouse, and he kidded me about going into that AA meeting. I quickly responded that, no, 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 I'm not going into the AA meeting, I'm going to the laundromat next door. Well, I felt so shitty, I uncomfortably but victoriously told on myself in that meeting and later made amends to my friend. And in that first AA meeting, there were indeed people that I knew. How could there not be? I had lived in that town for 18 years, and I was a grocery checker. Unless they didn't eat, we had met. But something magical happened in that instant that I entered the clubhouse. I got a feeling of home. Damn, I'm home. I felt so comfortable. And I was greeted in this moment of overwhelming fear with open arms, hugs, understanding, and no judgment. No long-winded series of questions and words. It was so simple, and thank goodness or I would have been out the door in a heartbeat. Let's backtrack a month. I'm going in for an assessment to see if I qualify to enter a 28-day treatment facility for alcoholism. I chose a place that was about an hour away from where I live so that no one would know me. Not. I don't know what they're going to ask me, and I don't know about rigorous honesty yet. But they do. They know an alcoholic is going to lie about their drinking habits and how much they drink. I did. I passed, and I spent over 28 days in that rehab. The first night when I lay in bed, I think that I don't need to be there. I'm okay now. I realize that alcohol is my problem, and now I can go home and control or even stop my drinking. But deep down inside, I knew that that wasn't going to happen because I had tried so many times, so many ways before. It seemed like forever that I had tried, so I stayed. Even when I called to make that appointment for the assessment, I was told that after the initial meeting, I was going to be sent home and called back later to see whether or not I had qualified. That was when I experienced one of my first bouts with rigorous honesty. I said that if I was sent home, I wasn't going to return because my mind would think I am now okay because I admitted I had a problem. I was told at that time, bring my suitcase. The day before the assessment, I wanted to yell from the rooftops and tell everybody, I'm an alcoholic, I'm going to go get help. I don't have to drink this way anymore. I don't have to drink every day. But I selectively let one of my neighbors know. I let my auntie, my brother, they knew. I didn't tell my mom because she was vacationing in Hawaii. I, of course, let my boss know and my husband and my 2 boys. Something magical happened on that day. The weight that I had shed by admitting I had a problem was magical. On the morning of the assessment, I was getting ready to make the hour drive, and I hear a knock on the door. I know it's not my husband. He had gone off to work. I know my kids went off to school. It was my aunt, my grandma, and my brother who had driven 2 hours that morning to take me, support me, and love me to go to that appointment. I break down crying secretly because I have a problem with crying. I cry because I was so full of guilt and shame. How did I let myself become this way? How did I allow myself to get so bad? And also I cry because I was full of gratitude for the love that was apparent for their being there for me. I wasn't worthy. I wasn't worthy of their love. Why the hell would they drive that way, all that way, for a piece of shit like me? Well, anyway, my husband and my boys didn't accompany me or us that day to the assessment. Everything with them is pretty blurry to me because most of the time with them is blurry. I was a blackout drinker, I was a pass-out drinker, I was a closet drinker. Only they knew the real me, and that was ugly. That ugly me is all I could remember of my life with them up to that point. One who had to drink every friggin' day to that place of pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization. Many of those instances, many, many. Backtrack a day to the day before the assessment. It was my day off, but the day prior I had hit my bottom. I had not come to when my kids came home from school, so I could get ready for work like I did forever. I had passed out and missed my shift at work. The red light was flashing on the answering machine. The message was from the night manager, who was concerned whether or not I was okay. It wasn't like me to be a no-call, no-show. And that night manager was one of my best friends and still is, but I still couldn't call her back. I just couldn't. I was so humiliated. So I decided to fish like I had done so many times before. For me, fishing is trying to get the answers that I didn't know in my blackout. Answers from my husband and from my kids to whether or not I had called back. And if so, what did I say? And did they respond? But I don't remember getting a response from my family. On that day before the assessment, I knew I had to talk to my boss, so I let her know what had happened. Because I just was so sick and tired, so tired of making excuses that I just had to tell her the truth. So I did, on the phone, because I didn't have the guts to go into work and look her in the eye. She listened. She offered empathy, kind words, and support. And she got me into a recovery program that changed my life, saved my life, and gave me a life. And I shall forever be grateful to her. So one day at a time, I got better. I go through that 28-day program for alcoholism. I am the poster child for AA, and I do everything that is suggested to me there. But something inside of me is missing, and I can't put my finger on it. So after about 7 years of one day at a time staying sober, I start to get worse. One day at a time. I go to fewer meetings. I do less service. I stop reaching out. And one day when I was offered a drink, on automatic pilot, I replied, "Hey, I haven't had a drink for 13 and a half years, so no thank you." That drink was left there for me in case I changed my mind. At that point in my sobriety, my mind was once again king. It was running the show. My ego had once again taken over, and I had forgotten how awesome it was to live from my heart with my higher power in charge. I had forgotten what it was like to be humble and grateful. I had forgotten what it was like to be a newcomer. And I had forgotten that unless I give it away, I can't keep it. So I drank that shot of tequila, and immediately, I mean immediately, the disease, the devil, whatever you want to call it, reared its ugly head in victory and yelled, "More, more, more, more." So my friend gave me another. The lying, cheating, hiding, all that negativity that I once had in my life that smothered me, it once again took priority in my life. That quickly. Positivity and optimism turned into negativity and hell. Today I realize that that shot of tequila and that friend who left it for me was a God shot in my life. A message from a power greater than myself that I have a purpose to share my experience, strength, and hope with others suffering from the disease of thinking, whether it be alcoholism, drug addiction, gambling, overeating, sex, shopping, abandonment issues, abuse, or life itself. Today I am not afraid of my truth anymore. I'm finally comfortable in my own skin. I can be the me I was meant to be, and I can love myself for who I am with all my character defects. I no longer have to live in fear that you won't accept me, that you'll judge me, talk about me. You're on your journey and I'm on mine. When our paths cross like they are right now, I can give you the respect that you deserve for your opinions, even though they might not be mine. That's the beauty of life and humanity that we're placed on this planet for. To learn from each other's opinions and experiences and become more compassionate, loving people. And I share my compassion with those who enter my bubble. Thank you for crossing my path today. I look forward to hearing about your journeys. With warmest aloha, my name is Dee Harris and I'm an alcoholic.